morning, welcome back to our very new channel. This channel's been set up to help not only my own students by giving them links to come through to it and look at particular subjects and scenarios, but it's to help anybody here that's having a little look, that might be in the process of looking to learn to drive, already learning to drive, almost at the point of taking their test, or they're looking to supervise somebody that's having driving lessons so that they can get private practice, or somebody that's actually looking to get back out onto the road that may have passed their test before. So we're going to cover loads of different subjects on here, and just take from it whatever helps you. So I wanted to have a look at a particular subject today, which is passing obstacles on the left hand side. And the reason that I wanted to have a look at this particular subject today is because I just noticed on a Facebook page for my local town that has like a community page which people can ask lots of different things, from who's going to paint my wall to lots of other stuff. And I saw a post on there last night, and it prompted me to decide that I wanted to do this particular subject today. So the comment, or the actual person's post, which was posted anonymously, was all about be kind, and then it went on to say that they were driving along in their car, they clipped the wing mirror of somebody that was stationary, kept driving obviously, and then eventually the person that was in that parked vehicle had raced after her and basically had to go. Now I know it's 100% female, because in some of her comments she said that she was female and that she had children in the car, and basically her post was to say that we all make mistakes, you don't know what was going on in somebody's head that day, and you know, children in the car, all of that stuff. So there was a very mixed bag of comments on there. It was about like, well, yeah, he's a jerk, the person that was shouting at you, he actually did it because you were a woman in the car, and then a few other people actually commented on it. I never got involved in it, but a few people commented on it and basically said, well, you know, you're saying about what's, you know, you've had maybe a bad day, how do you know that the person didn't have a bad day, and you clipping their mirror tipped them over the edge. And at the end of the day, if you can't drive a car without clipping a mirror, perhaps you shouldn't be on the road. So I just watched, like I was at the cinema with a bag of popcorn, watching it all erupt on there with lots of different comments. And then basically I thought this would be a good subject to cover. So I'm going to, on this clip, show you lots of areas where there are a lot of parked cars and talk about that. So first of all, if you don't know, if you are involved in an accident, so that does mean clipping somebody else's vehicle, and you don't stop, you can get done and get points on your licence for failing to stop. I think it's 10 points on your licence for failing to stop or report an accident is in another bracket. You can look that up. Don't want to waffle on about that one, but anyway. So first of all, her post said that he came racing after her, so she didn't stop. So first of all, she's technically broken the law. Now she says, oh, there was no damage, blah blah blah, just dinked it, and what have you. But technically, she did hit somebody else's car, so that is an accident. So technically, she should have stopped. And if then she stopped and, oh, I'm so sorry, I misjudged that, and the guy looked and said, oh, don't worry about it, there's no damage on that car, well then they've sorted that out. But she didn't stop. So her post obviously asking for people to be kind on there, she did technically not obey the law. But beside that, so she clipped his wing mirror, and I want you to think how wide a wing mirror is, and they obviously vary on different vehicles, but say you could be looking at maybe 20 to 30 centimetres, maybe 20, the car mirror sticking out at the side. That's not a lot, that's less than a standard ruler that you would have at school, because they're 30 centimetres. So if we're thinking that, and the other person's wing mirror sticking out from their car if it's fully out. My car, if I park up and I turn my car off, it closes the you know, pulls the mirrors in. But basically that means that she's driving her car, I would say, between the actual bodywork of her car on the left and the bodywork of his car, I would say that she's driving approximately maybe 40 to 50 centimetres ish, just to give you a rough guide. That's very close to another vehicle, very close. So usually what you would advise people to do is to try to give enough room for a door to open. So if you're giving enough room for a door to open, you're giving plenty of clearance. There's absolutely no way you're going to be clipping somebody's wing mirror. And if they did open the door, you would be able to miss that. You shouldn't hit it because you've already kept your distance away. So you need to be thinking of that. And when we're saying about that distance, that's from your wing mirror, remember, because that's part of your moving car. Now, many years ago, my dad told me, and I use this all the time on my lessons when I'm talking about the distance from the parked cars, because he told me that when he was a youngster, he was doing something in a car, and he was in the driver's seat and doing something down on the floor, and then what he did was, to get out of the car, he kicked his driver's side door open, and it was like the old style Mini, a bit like Mr. Bean's Mini, if you've seen that one, not like the new modern style Minis. And basically he kicked that door open, and along came a car and took it clean off. His door was took clean off. Right, so that's a good reason to keep a door width away. And the amount of vehicles that are parked up on the side of the road, and the passengers or drivers in that car just open their doors without looking whatsoever to see if the road's clear. I just find that unbelievable, but they do. And then what people do is they walk down the side of their car, they walk out in between cars, they come and get to the side of their car, stand there and obstruct the road, and obviously make it awkward for the cars to come past when they can't actually get in their car straight away. Or they come out between the cars, they walk around the side of the car, and then they open their door up right when you're coming. So, you know, we've got people that unfortunately are on the road that don't have a lot of brain cells, so you've got to remember that that's going to happen. So of course, if you give a door width, that's not going to affect you. But apart from that, I want you to start thinking about more of a reason why we keep that distance out. And this would be my argument if I'd have got involved with regards to this social media post last night. She dinked his wing mirror. That's her words that she used. I dinked the wing mirror, there was no damage. But what about if a child had stepped out in between the cars and she just dinked that child? And that is because she's got too close. And if she wasn't travelling as close as she was, she wouldn't have dinked that mirror, the same as that she wouldn't dink a pedestrian. Now, like I say, she's just driven off, she's hit a mirror, she's just carried on driving. But it could have been a pedestrian. And, you know, you don't know what that pedestrian's gone through that day. If we're going to get onto that argument, a pedestrian could make an error and step out in between the cars and not look. Now, years ago, when I was at school, you were taught the Green Cross Code. It was drummed into you about checking. My parents, when I was crossing the road as a youngster, you know, they were constantly making sure that I came up and I checked that the road was all good before I actually stepped out into it. There was none of this rushing out, trying to get, you know, get across the road quickly. But I think a lot of people are in a hurry now, and unfortunately what happens is parents don't look, they step out into the road, and then they're basically showing their children that that's how it's done. So you are going to get children that just step out in between the car. So what about if she had dinked that car? So that's why I'm looking at this particular subject today. We're looking at the fact that we're not just allowing for the door to open, so that we don't take off somebody's door or hit somebody that gets out of the car. We're not getting close, we're giving a good door width so that obviously we don't hit their wing mirrors. But I would say almost more importantly would be the fact that we're not looking to actually hit any pedestrians. So by keeping further out from those parked cars, you're actually going to have a better view in between the cars, especially if you've got roads that have a lot of parked cars on that. So some roads will be great, they'll have loads of room, you'll be able to move out, give your door width, and obviously if you can get your space, then you can keep your car going a little bit faster. Don't misjudge that word with saying going faster. I'm saying to speed up. What I'm saying is you can keep that progress going along that road, because wherever you've got space you can keep a little bit of speed. Cute little dog in the back there. So wherever there's space we can keep our car going with the speed. Wherever there isn't any space we'll reduce our speed and we'll come closer to the car. So you obviously still don't want to come so close that you dink the mirror or hit the car, even worse. I see so many cars now with scrapes down the side, and 100% is people just squashing through gaps that just don't exist. So let's go and have a look at a road that has quite a lot of parked cars, and I expect that I will have places where I will be able to keep my speed going a little bit and keep the distance out, and also places where I most probably won't have so much room. I might be able to still go through, but go through slower and closer to the vehicles, and I may get sections where I can't go through at all. Now, meeting oncoming cars I'm going to be doing in lots of subjects, because I think this is an area that people really struggle with. Like I say, people just have got no ideas about the rules, or they do and they can't be bothered to obey them, or they've just got no idea about the width of their vehicle. So if you look up ahead here, can you see we've got parked cars here? I can give loads of room, there's nothing coming. I'm a good 1.5 meters away from those cars. Now I still can't see anything coming, so I'm going to keep my car out and keep my distance, but as soon as that car comes towards me I'm going to reduce my speed so that I can come a little bit closer. So I've massively dropped it, I brought it down, but I'm still here, most probably right on the line of a door width. Yeah, okay, so here I'm going to speed up a little bit again. Then when I look up ahead I can see more parked cars on the left hand side. So look, I can see I can't get through because the cars come the other way and the gap's going a bit smaller, so I go a little bit slower, and all I'm going to do now, without dinking the mirrors, I'm just going to go through slowly. Once there's more room I move out and I can build my speed up again. Now all the time I'm travelling along here I'm looking in between. I look underneath cars because you can sometimes see the feet when they're coming up to it, but I'm very aware that I'm going to drive at an appropriate speed when I'm in an area where there are a lot of parked cars for that particular reason. Okay, let's go and show you another road that has a lot of parked cars. Now where I'm about to turn in at the moment, you must be able to see it on this particular camera, but there is a parked car on the left hand side that I would say that's only about a car length away from the junction, if that, so he's very, very close. There he is, great parking. So here I'm coming along, I'm staying out of line, I can see he's pulling back in, so I'm going to pull back in to this one. Still there, I'm assuming he's waiting for somebody else because he's not moved. No, he's just sitting there having a little look around, obviously not checking his mirror, got no idea I'm here. Okay, right, so can you see here we've got cars on both sides? Well, what I'm trying to do here is equally share, because obviously the cars on the right hand side are a problem to me as well. There's no point in giving loads of clearance on the left, missing that door, and then taking out one that's on the right hand side of the road. So you can see lots of different things to think about while you're on this section. So here, look, lots of parked cars on the left hand side, but again I'm giving a good door width. I can build some pace up because I've got loads of room on that left hand side, but if I start to see that the vision is less, or like here you can see that there's a car just come out from the junction and it's reduced my gap, then I would just go that little bit slower and come back in a little bit closer. So just about to come into a one-way street here, and what I'm going to be doing is changing to the right-hand lane very safely. I'm checking all my side mirrors when I move across to that right lane, because when I get down to this next set of traffic lights I'm going to be turning to the right. Interesting roundabout, this one actually, because it has traffic lights on it, and so in two places it has traffic lights, so it controls when you can go on and when you have to wait. Although I would say never trust anybody at the traffic lights. I've had vehicles that have come from the right here when they've had a red traffic light and just gone straight through them, so always make sure that you're watching out for that one. They're just about to change all this particular roundabout here. It's going to be chaos here while they're doing it, but there's an underpass that goes underneath this road, and they're going to fill that all in and have people coming from all angles around here, and more traffic lights while you're actually coming around the roundabout. So that's going to be interesting to see, because this is an extremely busy roundabout in the town here where I teach. So, park cars. Don't dink somebody's wing mirror. Make sure that you're giving a door width wherever it's possible to give that. And if you can't give that, then make sure that you go slower to allow you to go closer. But you're going to just have some sort of cut-off point where you literally cannot go through the gap at all. So you will obviously have to be thinking about occasionally where you might actually have to fully stop, because there just literally isn't enough room for you to use it. I hope you found this video useful. I am going to be doing a lot more about meeting cars while you're doing that, but just to talk to you about the distance